These blocks are 12.5 inches. I did them the same way the crumb blocks that I'd done before. I'm going to put black sashing in them in between, and it's all done quilt as you go. This is kind of new for me. I haven't tried it yet. I'll zoom in a bit so you can see some of the quilting, like on here. There's wavy lines. That one I just kind of followed around the shapes. And that one I did lines up and down. So I'll do more videos as we go. Bye for now. All right, here's the backs so you can see the quilting a little better. I just did a bunch of different styles. Here's my shadow in there, sorry about that. I might maybe do another one down here. This is probably going to be a dog blanket, but it doesn't really matter. This is kind of an open space here, so I might run something down there, but it's not the end of the world. Straight lines. I just kind of followed the fabric for that one. Diagonal lines. This one's just following the fabric too. Wavy. More straight lines. And a plain taupey kind of solid fabric. There's the backs. Hey everyone, now I'm putting these together. This is 2-inch sashing here. In order to do this, you need a 1.5-inch piece of batting. That's the same length. I've got my blocks 12.5. This is a bit longer, but it doesn't really matter. And then you need a piece of 2.5-inch wide and a piece of 4.5-inch wide that you press in half. So there's a fold. So what you do is you make sure that on the back, the 2.5-inch piece is lined up on the edge, and on the front, the 4.5 piece is lined up on the edge with the raw part this way. And you do a 1/4-inch seam allowance. I've got my walking foot on here because there's a lot of bulk here, and you want to make sure that it feeds evenly. You don't want any part scrunching. So walking foot is your best friend. It just makes it simpler. Now, to get the next one on, let me just orient myself. I want it to go, let me see, this way. So, flip it upside down, like that. And then you take this one with this part out and line it up on the edge like that. So you have a gap in here. It's supposed to be open like that. That's the idea. Sorry, it's not on or properly here. Pin it good. Pin it well. Sorry, that was bad English. Okay, this end. There we go. And then once again, we will do a 1/4-inch seam. Okay, once you got it sewn, make sure you give this one a really good hard press so that you have a nice firm seam all along here. You can kind of run your finger along it, press it hard with the iron, and you take your bit of batting and you tuck it down that channel there and sort of squish it in best you can. And I've got a seam line here where I sewed the other piece, gray-black piece, to the backing. So what the idea is to cover that with this. So, hence the pressing. Now, if you pull it across nice and tidy, you can just cover up that stitching line. This is going to require a few pins just to hold it in place. But start in the middle so that you don't get it all wonky. And make sure that this is covered so you don't see the darker colored stitching line. Not that that's awful, but it looks a bit tacky when you've got other colors on for the quilting and everything on the top. If you're doing everything with exactly the same color, it probably doesn't really matter. Quilting, doing the sashing, whatever. If you're doing the same color, it doesn't really matter quite so much, but mine's different, so I'm being a little bit more careful. Okay. Now, that should do it. Actually, I'll put this one over here. And one more pin right on this edge because it wants to come apart. There. Okay. And then, very, very carefully, I'll put another pin right here because it's coming up. You top stitch right along, if you can see it, sorry, down here, right along this edge, very carefully, right along the edge, so that this edge, the folded over edge, is held down all the way along. That's again with the standard stitch length, just regular old time, just barely on the inside of here, so that it catches down, covers that up, and on the other side, it's going to be on the black too. Then, once that's done, how I did the other one was, the requirements that for the video I read was, then you quilt this at 1/2 inch intervals. So I just took some of my chalk that's water soluble and made lines and just quilted down with it. And for that, I made my stitch length 2.8 instead of the standard 2.2. So that's how you do it. I will carry on, and eventually we'll get all the rows finished, and then I'll have to make another version of this really long to go all the way down the middle of the other two seams. But that's it for now. Bye, everyone.